Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what cosmic secrets are embedded in your birthday? Specifically, if you were born on February 1st, you are a unique blend of logic and lightning, mystery and magnetism. This date births visionaries, rebels, and the kind of people who don't just think outside the box, they redesign it. Let's take a deep cosmic dive into what it really means to be born on February 1st. From astrology to numerology, druids to flowers, this is your ultimate horoscope. Buckle up, it's going to get mystical. Astrological Personality Overview. Western Astrology. If you're born on February 1st, your soul is tethered to the sign of Aquarius, and your life is guided by the restless, electric energy of Uranus, a planet that defies all norms and conventions. You weren't born to conform, you were born to provoke thought, initiate change, and awaken others to new possibilities. While most people seek comfort in routine, you thrive in the unknown. Your life feels like a series of bold experiments, and your identity is in constant evolution. You're a thinker, a builder of future worlds, and a truth seeker in a world full of comfortable lies. Exceptionally independent. Your independence is not just a personality trait, it's your life force. You have a deep need to do things your own way, in your own time. Whether it's choosing a career path no one understands or living in a way that breaks all conventional norms, your sense of autonomy is sacred. You don't just dislike being told what to do, it can actually feel suffocating. This independence shows up early in life and becomes your compass. You're often ahead of your time, which can make you feel misunderstood or even isolated. But rather than conform, you double down on your uniqueness. You believe that true connection can only come from freedom, not from dependency. Idealistic with a strong sense of justice. You don't just hope for a better world, you see it, vividly, in your mind. You are a born visionary with ideas about how systems, communities, and relationships should work. You tend to get involved in causes that champion the underdog, and you're naturally drawn to movements that fight injustice. While others may compromise or turn a blind eye, you cannot ignore what you perceive as wrong. Whether it's standing up for a friend, protesting an unfair policy, or challenging workplace bias, your moral compass is non-negotiable. Your idealism can frustrate others who live more pragmatically, but your passion often serves as a torch in the darkness for those around you. Emotionally detached yet fiercely loyal. This duality often confuses people. You may come off as emotionally unavailable or too rational, especially when others expect more demonstrative warmth. But beneath that cool exterior lies a profound sense of loyalty and emotional integrity. You feel deeply, you just don't always show it in traditional ways. You're not the person to cry during a sad movie, but you'll move mountains for someone you love without hesitation. Your emotional detachment is not coldness, it's a buffer that helps you think clearly and make fair decisions. Once you let someone into your inner circle, they're there for life, unless they betray your trust. In that case, you shut the door, lock it, and throw away the key. Deep thinkers with a rebellious streak. You were the kid who questioned the teacher and read obscure philosophy books for fun. Your mind craves complexity, and you're most alive when exploring abstract ideas or solving intellectual puzzles. But this curiosity is rarely passive. It often comes with a rebellious edge. You question authority, break rules especially when they feel outdated, and reject anything that smells like groupthink. You're drawn to revolutionaries, inventors, and misfits, because deep down, you are one. You believe that progress requires breaking something old to build something better. Your thoughts aren't just deep, they're disruptive, which is exactly what the world needs from you. Charismatic but crave solitude. People are drawn to you like moths to an intellectual flame. You have a natural charisma that's fueled by your originality, your insight, and your ability to make people see the world differently. You often find yourself the center of attention, even when you're not trying to be. But despite this magnetic presence, you often prefer solitude. You need quiet space to recharge, to think, to plan your next idea or invention. Constant social interaction drains you, especially if it lacks substance. While you enjoy meaningful conversations and social stimulation, you must retreat into your private world to feel whole again. You are often mistaken for being aloof, but that's because you operate on a different frequency. Your mind is constantly running simulations, building new realities, or observing patterns that others don't even notice. While they're reacting to what's in front of them, you're already 10 steps ahead, thinking about how it all connects in the grand scheme. Once people get past your layers, they often discover that your loyalty, creativity, and insight make you irreplaceable. Love romance. To love someone born on February 1st is to love a beautiful contradiction. You are warm yet distant, passionate yet rational, intimate yet elusive. Your romantic life is not a script pulled from a rom-com, it's a journey into the uncharted territory of the heart. You fall in love with the mind first, physical attraction and emotional closeness follow, but intellectual chemistry is what ignites the flame. You don't just want a lover, you want a partner in crime, someone who understands your visions and dares to dream alongside you. Yet, you need your space. Love can never feel like a cage. If it does, you'll break the bars without looking back. You're passionate, but not possessive. Once committed, you love deeply, but never obsessively. You're not interested in controlling your partner or being controlled. Your style of affection is mature, thoughtful, and often surprising. You'll show your love through actions, helping someone achieve their dreams, remembering small details, or supporting them when no one else will. But jealousy? That's a foreign language to you. You believe that love must be free to be real. You encourage your partner's independence because you cherish your own. And when both people are growing separately, the relationship grows stronger together. You love surprises and keeping things spontaneous. Routine bores you. Spontaneity is your love language. One day it's breakfast in bed, the next it's a road trip to a hidden forest Airbnb. You're always thinking of ways to keep your relationship exciting and fresh. You see love as a playground, not a prison. Traditional anniversary gifts or expected date nights don't do it for you. You're the type to leave cryptic love notes on a mirror or plan a date based on your partner's birth chart. Keeping things spontaneous is not just fun, it's essential for keeping your heart engaged. You're more likely to write love letters than send flirty texts. You're romantic, but not in a mainstream way. While others might flood their partner with emojis and "good morning" texts, you're penning a handwritten letter that references Greek mythology or includes a drawing of your shared dreams. You express affection in thoughtful, meaningful ways. Your love is poetic, conceptual, and layered with nuance. You may not always say, "I love you," out loud, but you'll show it in deeply personal gestures that make your partner feel truly seen. You hate routine, romantic ruts make you restless. Stagnation in love is your kryptonite. When things become predictable, your interest starts to fade. You need a partner who grows with you, reinvents with you, and isn't afraid to shake things up. Whether it's trying new experiences, exploring different kinds of intimacy, or diving into philosophical debates, you crave stimulation in all forms. Your love thrives on evolution. When relationships become too settled, you either transform them, or leave them behind. Most compatible signs for love. Gemini. Mental stimulation. Check. No emotional pressure. Check. This is a match made in cosmic conversation heaven. You'll talk for hours, invent weird games, and create your own language of love. Both of you value freedom and fun, making it a dynamic and flexible partnership. Libra. Elegant, charming, and socially conscious, Libra complements your visionary nature with grace and balance. You share a love for ideas, art, and justice. This pairing can be both powerfully intellectual and sweetly romantic, with each of you inspiring the other to be better. Sagittarius. The explorer meets the inventor. You're both restless souls who refuse to live life inside a box. Sagittarius's sense of adventure pairs beautifully with your curiosity and forward thinking. You'll push each other to dream bigger, live louder, and love more openly. Aries. This is fire and air, explosive, exciting, and endlessly challenging in the best way. Aries brings boldness and initiative, you bring vision and rebellion. Together, you spark innovation and action. You may argue, but you'll also inspire and ignite each other. Least compatible signs. Taurus. Earthy and comfort-loving Taurus may find your unpredictable, freedom-seeking nature too chaotic. You'll feel stifled by their desire for security and routine, while they'll be frustrated by your refusal to settle down in traditional ways. Cancer. Sensitive and emotionally complex, Cancer needs deep emotional connection and nurturing, a rhythm that might feel smothering to your more cerebral and autonomous style. Miscommunication and unmet needs constrain this pairing. Virgo. Analytical and methodical, Virgo can be overly critical of your unconventional approaches. While both of you are intelligent, Virgo's need for control and order clashes with your love of chaos and experimentation. Friction arises when spontaneity meets structure. Sex intimacy. Let's be honest, your sexuality is as original and unpredictable as your thoughts. You don't approach sex in the conventional way, and you're rarely turned on by surface-level attraction. For you, intimacy isn't just about bodies, it's about mind syncing, exploring, pushing boundaries, and creating experiences that feel like mini-revolutions. Sex is a playground of ideas, sensations, fantasies, and emotions. You crave partners who are curious, inventive, and unafraid to question what intimacy even means. For you, physical connection without mental stimulation feels hollow. But when both are aligned, the result is electric. You're experimental and open-minded. You're not someone who sticks to scripts or checks off boxes. You approach sex like a scientist mixed with an artist, curious, open, unafraid of the unknown. You see it as an exploration of the self and of the other. You're eager to try new things, explore different dynamics, and question societal norms around sexuality. Whether it's roleplay, new positions, tantric techniques, or things that some would shy away from, you're more intrigued than intimidated. In fact, the less conventional something is, the more likely it is to catch your attention. You find excitement in breaking routine and diving into the unexplored aspects of desire, both yours and your partner's. Boredom is the biggest turn-off. Nothing makes your libido vanish faster than predictability. A set routine, scripted moves, or uninspired encounters. Nope. You're mentally checking out before the lights are even dimmed. What turns you on is spontaneity, creativity, and mental engagement. You want to be surprised, challenged, even intellectually seduced. You're the type to lose interest if intimacy becomes too repetitive, even if it's technically good. You crave novelty and innovation, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. When the dynamic feels stale, you often withdraw rather than confront, which can confuse less intuitive partners. You like to keep things spicy and often challenge taboos. You're the kind of person who raises an eyebrow at the phrase, too kinky. You don't just think outside the box, you question whether the box ever needed to exist. Taboos intrigue you, not because you want to shock, but because you believe everything about human connection should be examined and experienced freely. Whether it's unconventional fantasies, power dynamics, or exploring different identities, you're all about pushing the limits of comfort and rewriting the rules of sensuality. Your adventurousness isn't reckless, it's philosophical. You want intimacy that feels like rebellion, like you're co-creating something sacred, primal, and real. Trust builds slowly, but once it's there, intimacy becomes transcendental. You don't give yourself easily. Despite your open mind and forward-thinking nature, you're actually quite guarded at first. You need to feel mentally safe, emotionally respected, and intellectually admired before you let someone into your most vulnerable layers. But when that trust is established, when someone truly gets you, your intimacy becomes something almost cosmic. You move beyond pleasure into something transformational. You don't just connect, you dissolve boundaries. The experience becomes a spiritual event, blending thought, sensation, and energy into a level of closeness that few people ever reach. For the right partner, loving you physically is like stepping through a portal to a new universe. Marriage. For someone born on February 1st, marriage is not a destination, it's a shared adventure. You don't do anything halfway, especially not relationships. The idea of a traditional, cookie-cutter marriage doesn't resonate with you. You need something flexible, conscious, and dynamic. Marriage can only work for you if it evolves with both people. You seek a partnership where growth is constant, boundaries are respected, and individual freedom is celebrated, not sacrificed. When you find someone who views marriage as an ever-changing collaboration rather than a rigid institution, you're all in, heart, mind, and soul. You're unlikely to marry young. Your 20s are often a time of intense self-exploration and identity shaping. You're not in a rush to commit because you understand, perhaps more deeply than most, that people change, and you're no exception. While others may see marriage as a milestone, you see it as a mission, and you won't sign up until you've fully clarified what that mission is. You tend to avoid early marriage not out of fear, but out of self-respect. You need to know who you are before merging lives with someone else. Often, your first serious long-term commitment happens later in life, once you've traveled far enough internally to know what you truly need and can give. Ideal marriages for February 1st Aquarians are built on friendship first. Romance alone won't cut it. You need companionship, conversation, and mutual respect. The strongest marriages for you start with a deep, honest friendship, one where you feel understood without pretense. You want someone who can stay up with you all night talking about conspiracy theories, your next startup idea, or the future of education. You want a partner who challenges you intellectually but never tries to dominate emotionally. When you marry your best friend, someone who sees the real you, quirks, chaos, and all, you become fiercely devoted. Loyalty is your foundation, but it must be built on truth, not obligation. Long-distance relationships can surprisingly work well for you. Where most people fear the miles, you see them as space to breathe. Long distance can actually suit your independent nature, allowing you to maintain your autonomy while still nurturing deep emotional connection. You don't need to be in constant physical proximity to feel close. In fact, the space can enhance your desire and make your reunions feel more intentional and magical. Through letters, voice notes, and video chats filled with philosophical debates and future plans, you stay emotionally present without feeling smothered. While not ideal forever, periods of physical distance can help keep your love alive and your spirit free. You're faithful, but only when emotionally and intellectually engaged. Loyalty isn't something you give out of tradition or duty, it's something you choose every day, based on the quality of connection. If your mind and heart are stimulated, if your partner continues to grow and evolve with you, you're incredibly devoted. But if the relationship becomes stagnant, closed-minded, or overly controlling, you begin to drift. Emotional and intellectual engagement are your oxygen. Without them, even the most beautiful love begins to feel like a cage. You don't stray lightly, but you will disconnect quietly when the foundation of the bond no longer supports your inner truth. However, when you are met with deep resonance and freedom, you become a partner like no other, visionary, loving, and endlessly inspiring. Friendship. When it comes to friendship, you're the kind of person people never forget. You're unpredictable, fiercely loyal, and always full of ideas, some brilliant, some bizarre, all fascinating. You don't show up with small talk or surface-level energy. Instead, you bring a spark, a new perspective, or a spontaneous invitation to do something completely unexpected, like hiking under a full moon or joining a book club that only reads sci-fi from the 1960s. You might not text back immediately or remember everyone's birthday, but your loyalty runs deep. When the chips are down, your friends know without a doubt, you're there, in full force. You attract eclectic people from all walks of life. Your energy is like an open frequency that welcomes the weird, the wise, and the wildly misunderstood. You naturally pull in artists, thinkers, activists, techies, and old souls with futuristic dreams. Your friend group might look like the cast of an indie movie, diverse, unpredictable, and full of stories. You thrive in that kind of social chaos. Conformity bores you, so you're instinctively drawn to people who live outside the usual definitions of success, beauty, or popularity. You're the friend who gets excited to meet someone just because their perspective is unlike anything you've heard before. With you, differences aren't barriers, they're invitations. You're often the connector in social groups. You're the human algorithm that introduces the poet to the programmer and somehow sparks a collaboration that changes both their lives. You see the invisible threads between people, their shared curiosities, complementary energies, or future potential. You're the one organizing group trips, creative projects, or impromptu rooftop dinners. Even if you're introverted by nature, your social intelligence is magnetic. You build community without trying, and many of your friends wouldn't know each other if it weren't for you. You may float between circles, but when you're present, the vibe instantly shifts, more inspired, more open, more alive. You give incredible advice, but rarely take your own. Your insights are razor sharp. You can dissect a friend's crisis with empathy, logic, and visionary clarity. You're the person people call at 1 a.m. when they need truth, not comfort. You'll tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, and they respect you for it. But when it comes to your own emotional messes or decisions, you tend to get stuck. Maybe it's your perfectionism, maybe it's your fear of vulnerability, or maybe you just analyze things until the moment passes. Regardless, your friends often see your blind spots long before you do. The irony is, if you treated yourself the way you treat them, you'd be unstoppable. Most of your friendships start with a debate or deep conversation. Small talk doesn't appeal to you. You want to get to the root of someone's worldview, fast. You might meet someone at a party and instantly dive into a passionate discussion about time travel, ethical AI, or the politics of space colonization. That's your version of bonding. You're drawn to people who challenge you intellectually, and you offer the same in return. These conversations become the foundation for lasting friendships, ones built on mutual curiosity, respect, and the thrill of mental gymnastics. With you, friendship is rarely boring. It's a continuous dialogue where ideas evolve, boundaries are explored, and growth is inevitable. Career business. If you were born on February 1st, your professional path was never going to be ordinary. You're an innovator by birthright, driven by vision more than structure. The traditional 9-to-5 model can feel more like a trap than a career to you. You thrive in chaos, in creativity, in being at the bleeding edge of what's next. You're the one pitching 3 groundbreaking ideas before your coworkers finish their coffee. Risk doesn't scare you, stagnation does. You're less focused on climbing a ladder and more interested in building a whole new system. The most successful careers for you are the ones where your originality isn't just accepted, it's the fuel that powers the whole machine. Inventor, tech entrepreneur, or software developer. Your mind works like an idea generator on overdrive. You constantly envision systems, tools, and apps that don't exist yet, but should. You see problems not as obstacles, but as puzzles begging for a smarter solution. Tech is a natural home for you because it gives you the freedom to innovate, disrupt, and iterate. Whether you're coding your own AI assistant or sketching out the blueprint for a gadget that cleans oceans, you're most alive when you're making something that feels like the future. You don't need anyone's permission to start, you just need a challenge worth solving. Humanitarian work, especially involving new technologies. You're an idealist with a practical streak. You're not content to just imagine a better world, you want to help build it. You gravitate toward causes that improve the human condition, especially when you can fuse compassion with innovation. Think, launching clean water initiatives using solar tech, designing educational apps for underserved communities, or creating platforms that connect global changemakers. You want your work to matter, and you believe technology should be a tool for equity, not just profit. In the right setting, your genius becomes a force for profound societal impact. Science fiction writer, philosopher, or professor. You have a gift for exploring big questions and translating abstract ideas into language that moves people. You're a born thinker with a taste for the speculative and surreal. Whether you're writing novels about dystopian futures or lecturing on ethical dilemmas in post-human societies, your ideas push boundaries. Academia and literature allow you to swim in the deep end of thought, often while influencing the next generation of thinkers. You're not afraid to challenge established beliefs, and you have a natural ability to turn theory into transformation, on the page or in the classroom. Environmentalist or climate scientist. Your concern for the planet runs deep, not just because you care, but because you understand the interconnectedness of all things. You don't just want to protect the Earth, you want to rethink how we interact with it. Whether it's through data, policy, or design, you're passionate about sustainability, renewable energy, and systems that mimic nature rather than destroy it. You're likely to be found leading green startups, collaborating with indigenous communities, or creating open-source solutions to fight climate change. Your approach is global, inclusive, and future-forward. Futurist or trend analyst. You live 5 years ahead of everyone else. You see patterns before they're obvious, and your predictions are often eerily accurate. Brands, industries, and even governments can benefit from your ability to forecast shifts in culture, tech, and consumer behavior. Whether you're consulting on the next big app, predicting the rise of niche subcultures, or developing strategic scenarios for global think tanks, your talent lies in anticipating what's next, and preparing the world for it. You're not just observing change, you are the change. You have a knack for trends before they're trends. While others are busy catching up, you're already imagining what comes next. You don't just follow innovation, you create it. You sense shifts in collective mood, technology, fashion, and culture with uncanny accuracy. This makes you invaluable in industries that rely on evolution, marketing, media, tech, design, or even politics. You're often the person who predicted the rise of cryptocurrency, virtual influencers, or decentralized communities before anyone else took them seriously. You struggle with micromanagement, both giving and receiving. Micromanaging, or being micromanaged, is like putting a wild stallion in a shoebox. You need freedom to move, experiment, and break rules. You find strict schedules and endless checklists creatively stifling, and you resist hierarchy unless it's flexible and collaborative. When in leadership roles, you prefer to inspire rather than control. And when you're working under someone, they need to trust your process, or risk losing you. You perform best when you're given a vision, a blank canvas, and the autonomy to run with it. You're visionary, but sometimes need help with follow-through. Your ideas are brilliant. World-changing, even. But execution? That's where things can get tricky. You can get lost in the excitement of a new project and forget to finish the last one. Or you'll perfect every detail of phase 1, then move on before launch. That's why surrounding yourself with practical, detail-oriented collaborators is key. When you find the right people to complement your visionary nature, you become unstoppable. The dreamer becomes a builder, and the impossible becomes possible. Numerology, the power of one. Being born on the first day of the month imbues you with the essence of the number 1 in numerology, a number associated with creation, leadership, innovation, and individuality. This number is a driving force, the spark of beginnings, the pioneer in every domain it touches. For someone born on February 1st, this numerological vibration doesn't just add a layer of meaning to your Aquarian energy, it supercharges it. It makes you more decisive, more ambitious, more you. You were born to initiate, to stand out, and to shape your world according to your inner vision, even when the world isn't ready for it yet. You are a trailblazer, not a follower. From an early age, you've likely had an unshakable sense that you were different, and not just different for the sake of it. You're wired to challenge norms and walk new paths, not because it's trendy, but because conformity feels suffocating to your spirit. While others may wait for validation or permission, you simply do. You're the student who challenges the syllabus, the employee who rewrites the manual, the entrepreneur who invents a need people didn't know they had. You don't replicate trends, you start them. In every group, you tend to be the first to try, the first to risk, and often, the first to succeed because of it. Determination and inner strength define you. The number 1 is ruled by the energy of the sun, self-powered, radiant, and impossible to ignore. You possess an internal reservoir of grit and resilience that fuels you through setbacks. You don't buckle under pressure, in fact, challenges seem to bring out your best. Even when others doubt your path, you push forward with relentless clarity, knowing instinctively that your journey isn't about approval, it's about fulfillment. Your drive doesn't burn out easily. Instead, it self-replenishes through vision, purpose, and a fierce belief in your own potential. When you hit a wall, you don't turn back, you break through or build a door. You can be stubborn, but that's often what fuels your success. Let's call it what it is, you can be headstrong. But that stubbornness often comes from conviction, not ego. When you believe in something, you don't just talk about it, you embody it. You're not the type to pivot just because someone else disagrees. In fact, external resistance often strengthens your resolve. While this can sometimes lead to friction with authority figures or partners who value compromise, it also means that you follow through when others give up. Your willpower is a powerful tool, and when balanced with openness, it becomes an unstoppable force that builds legacies. You radiate confidence, sometimes to the point of intimidating others. There's an unmistakable presence about you. You walk into a room and shift the energy without trying. You speak with certainty, act with intent, and carry yourself like someone who knows exactly who they are, even if you're still figuring some of it out. This natural confidence can inspire others, but it can also make some people uncomfortable, especially those who struggle with self-assurance. You don't need constant affirmation because you trust your instincts. That self-belief becomes your magnetism. It draws opportunity, loyalty, and admiration, but it also demands that you remain humble and grounded, lest your light become a spotlight you hide behind. Numerologically, you're wired to start things. Whether it's a movement, a project, or a business, you're the ignition key. Just remember to stick around for the maintenance too. You have what many others lack, the audacity to begin. You see possibilities where others see problems. Your ideas come fast and loud, often sparking revolutions in the places you touch. But here's the catch, number 1 energy is about ignition, not always about follow-through. You may start strong and then lose interest when the adrenaline fades or the details become tedious. That's why collaboration is crucial. Partner with people who can stabilize your vision and bring it to fruition. If you can master the art of sustaining your energy, or wisely delegate when needed, you'll not only start things, but you'll finish them. And when you do, the results are extraordinary. Druid horoscope. In the mystical wisdom of the Celtic tree horoscope, those born around February 1st fall under the protection and spirit of the Cypress tree. Known for its quiet resilience and elegant strength, the cypress carries ancient symbolism of transformation, solitude, and inner peace. To the Druids, trees were more than nature, they were living, breathing guardians of human destiny. And the cypress? It's the wise sentinel standing calmly at the edge of change, unshaken by the storms of life. If you were born under this sign, your roots run deep, even if your branches stretch wildly into the unknown. You are strong, adaptable, and deeply spiritual. You're not easily broken. Life may challenge you, sometimes relentlessly, but you endure with a kind of grace that doesn't call attention to itself. Your strength isn't loud, it's steady, like a tree weathering decades of wind without losing its shape. You're incredibly adaptable, capable of navigating life's shifts with a calm acceptance that belies your inner power. And at your core, there's a spiritual depth, a knowing, that connects you to something greater than yourself. You may be drawn to meditation, mysticism, or nature-based rituals, not for escapism, but because they bring you back to your center, to your truth. Often a lone wolf, yet not lonely. Solitude is not your enemy, it's your sanctuary. You don't need constant social stimulation to feel alive. In fact, being alone often rejuvenates you in ways that people never could. This can make you appear distant or even mysterious, but the truth is, you simply value your inner world. You find clarity in silence, strength in separation, and peace in walking your own path. While others might fear being alone, you flourish in it, reconnecting with your purpose, your creativity, and your intuition. You can love deeply and connect meaningfully, but you'll always need time away to breathe, reset, and realign with your essence. You find beauty in minimalism and meaning in nature. You're not impressed by excess. Your aesthetic is often simple, but it's layered with thought and intentionality. Whether it's your style, your home, or the way you move through the world, you seek what is true, not what is trendy. You feel most alive in natural environments, in forests, on cliffs, near rivers, places where the noise of civilization fades and the heartbeat of the earth can be felt. Nature isn't just scenery to you, it's scripture. You draw wisdom from the way trees grow, from the silence between waves, from the stars that guide you on cloudless nights. Your life is a blend of elegance and earthiness, minimalism and magic. You seek depth, not drama. Surface-level interactions don't interest you. You're not here for gossip, chaos, or performance. You crave conversations that peel back the layers, relationships that go beneath the masks, experiences that change you from the inside out. You avoid drama not because you can't handle it, but because it's a waste of your time and energy. Your emotional intelligence runs deep, and you can often sense someone's true intentions long before they reveal them. You're not easily fooled, nor are you quick to judge. You simply prefer authenticity to spectacle, stillness to noise, and growth to distraction. In Druidic tradition, Cypress people are seen as old souls with an ability to endure and transform, no matter what life throws their way. The cypress is sacred in Druidic lore for its resilience and capacity for regeneration. People born under this sign are considered old souls, wise beyond their years, with a depth of perspective that can't be taught. You've likely felt out of sync with your peers at times, as if your soul remembers things others have yet to learn. But this ancient energy is also what gives you the ability to transform hardship into wisdom, loss into strength, and solitude into enlightenment. Like the cypress, you stand tall through life's seasons, shedding only what no longer serves you, and continuing to grow in your own quiet, powerful way. Vedic Indian Astrology. In the profound and ancient tradition of Vedic astrology, or Jyotish Shastra, your birth is calculated based on the lunar calendar, which often places those born on February 1st under either Makara Rashi Capricorn or Kumbha Rashi Aquarius, depending on your birth year, time, and location. Assuming your moon sign falls in Kumbha Rashi, you inherit the karmic and cosmic blueprint of an Aquarian soul in the Vedic sense, an entirely different energy than Western astrology's air-based Aquarius. In the Vedic system, this is a deeply spiritual, grounded, and purpose-driven sign, ruled not by Uranus, but by Shani, also known as Saturn, the great teacher of discipline, responsibility, and long-term reward. Here, every struggle serves a higher lesson. Every step forward is rooted in the evolution of the soul. Ruled by Shani Saturn, the disciplinarian planet. Shani is not a flashy ruler. He doesn't give instant gratification. Instead, he teaches you through delay, resistance, and time. As a native of Kumbha Rashi, your life path is often defined by slow mastery, earned wisdom, and a seriousness that lies beneath your seemingly free-spirited exterior. Saturn governs discipline, structure, and karmic justice. If you're born under his watch, you're being prepared for greatness, but not before you're tested. Challenges in your early life aren't random, they are intentional shaping tools for your character. You're taught patience through obstacles, humility through success, and strength through silence. While others may rise quickly and fall hard, you rise slowly, but you rise for good. Saturn makes sure of it. You balance eccentricity with a hidden seriousness. You might present as quirky, offbeat, or even radical on the surface, someone who loves breaking conventions and pushing boundaries. But underneath that wild mental world, there is a core of discipline and gravity that defines you. This is the Saturn influence, steadying your Aquarian eccentricity with purpose. You can surprise people with how focused and determined you are when it counts. While you enjoy thinking about out-of-the-box solutions and future possibilities, you also have a deep sense of structure and timing. You may explore unusual paths, but you do so with methodical thought and a long-term view. You often live in the future, but you build it brick by brick, not by impulse. Your life is about learning patience, karma, and dharma purpose. Kumbh Rashi natives are born with a mission, and that mission often reveals itself slowly, through cycles of hardship and revelation. You're not here to simply enjoy life's pleasures, you're here to serve, evolve, and lead with meaning. Shani's influence makes you incredibly karmic. Your life unfolds based on spiritual debts and credits, accumulated not just in this life, but in those before. You may feel inexplicably drawn to helping others, building communities, or creating something that outlives you. Your soul is being groomed to understand Dharma, your higher life path, and often you won't fully grasp it until later in life. The more you align with your inner truth, the more the universe opens doors for you, but only after you've learned patience, self-control, and inner mastery. You may start slow in life, but finish very strong. There's a saying in Vedic astrology, those ruled by Shani start with delay, but end with reward. Your early years may feel uncertain, filled with trial and error, or overshadowed by obstacles. Whether it's academic setbacks, identity struggles, or delayed achievements, you often experience a late bloomer arc. But what appears to be a slow start is really a divine calibration. Saturn wants your foundation to be solid before you build your empire. In your 30s and beyond, life begins to align. You gain clarity, power, and recognition in ways that others only dream of. Your strength is sustainability. When you rise on stone, not sand. Your success is built to last, and your wisdom becomes your greatest asset. In Vedic terms, your destiny is about using your unique gifts in service of humanity. Think purpose with a mission. You are not here to play small. Kumbh Rashi natives often carry a cosmic responsibility, to elevate consciousness, support collective growth, and introduce new paradigms of living. Whether you're inventing technologies, organizing grassroots movements, or quietly changing lives one person at a time, your spiritual path is about service through uniqueness. Saturn doesn't reward ego, but it does reward purpose. The more you use your originality, intelligence, and compassion to help others, the more aligned and fulfilled you become. Your dharma is to lead with vision and humility, to leave this world better than you found it, not through dominance, but through wisdom and meaningful action. Flower horoscope. Your birth flower, the violet, holds quiet power. It might not be the loudest bloom in the garden, but it's one of the most symbolic, and perhaps the most spiritually aligned with the soul of a February 1st native. The violet doesn't need grandeur to be captivating. It whispers where others shout, and in that softness lies profound beauty. In the language of flowers, the violet represents modesty, loyalty, and spiritual wisdom, three traits that perfectly mirror your essence. Like the violet, you're often underestimated at first glance, but once people get close, they discover depth, resilience, and healing energy that leaves a lasting imprint. You have a healing energy. Whether you're aware of it or not, your presence has a naturally calming and stabilizing effect on others. People often come to you not just for advice, but to feel grounded, heard, and understood. You might have a gift for intuitive listening, or simply a way of making people feel safe enough to open up. Your energy is gentle but powerful, like the violet, which thrives close to the earth, drawing strength from deep roots. You don't need to say much to create impact. Sometimes, just your stillness, your focus, or your quiet faith in someone can help them shift from fear to peace. This healing nature may draw you toward nurturing roles, therapist, coach, mentor, or simply make you the emotional center of your friend group. You're resilient and can thrive even in the coldest of environments. Like the violet that blooms even in the late winter chill, you have an inner toughness that defies your outward delicacy. You may appear reserved or gentle, but beneath that lies a core of unshakable strength. Life may test you, through isolation, hardship, or emotional upheaval, but you always find a way to bloom. You don't need ideal conditions to grow. You adapt, regenerate, and carry your light even in the darkest seasons. That's part of your magic. You survive without bitterness, and you evolve without losing your softness. This resilience isn't about brute force, it's about quiet endurance and the refusal to stop becoming. You may not seek attention, but it finds you anyway. You don't perform for the crowd. You're not chasing applause or recognition. And yet, your authenticity draws people in. The violet is easily missed by those rushing through the world, but those who pause and notice are mesmerized. The same is true of you. Your power doesn't lie in drama or grandeur, it lies in presence, in sincerity, in the way you live your truth without needing to prove anything. Ironically, that's exactly what makes people notice you. Whether in your personal life or professional world, others are often drawn to you for your integrity, your depth, and your natural elegance. You stand out by staying true to yourself. And in a noisy world, that's revolutionary. Birthstone and crystal vibes. Your birthstone, amethyst, is more than just a beautiful violet gem, it's a timeless symbol of clarity, protection, and spiritual insight. For someone born on February 1st, amethyst feels like a perfect mirror to your nature, powerful, rare, and deeply intuitive. But beyond amethyst, your complete gemstone profile includes a set of crystals that align with your Aquarian soul, each one fine-tuned to help you unlock your highest potential. You're a visionary, a thinker, and often a whirlwind of ideas and energy. These stones act like energetic anchors and amplifiers, grounding your thoughts, sharpening your intuition, and calming your spirit when your mind starts racing faster than time. Amethyst enhances intuition and calms the mind. Amethyst is your energetic home base. This majestic purple quartz has been cherished for millennia, by ancient Greeks who believed it protected against intoxication, by monks who used it for meditation, and by healers who saw it as a bridge between earth and the divine. For you, amethyst enhances your natural Aquarian gift of insight, helping you cut through the noise and tap into a higher frequency of thought. It quiets the mental static that can come from overthinking, and it gives structure to your inner world without limiting your imagination. Meditating with amethyst can bring vivid dreams, flashes of clarity, and a sense of calm that supports your often chaotic genius. It's a stone that doesn't dull your brilliance, it focuses it. Hematite grounds your airy Aquarian thoughts. Your mind can be a powerful, creative storm, always spinning, inventing, questioning. But without grounding, even the best ideas can scatter like sparks in the wind. Enter hematite, the metallic, iron-rich stone that acts as your spiritual anchor. Hematite's energy is deeply stabilizing, pulling your thoughts back to earth and helping you focus on execution, not just ideation. When you wear or carry hematite, it's like laying energetic railroad tracks for your ideas to run on. It connects you to your physical body, supports decision-making, and shields you from energetic overload. For an air sign like you, this stone is essential, think of it as gravity for your gifts. Aquamarine encourages fluid communication and emotional flow. Aquamarine is the ocean in crystal form, cool, soothing, and impossibly deep. As an Aquarian, you're a master of logic and intellect, but emotional expression can sometimes feel foreign or even inconvenient. Aquamarine invites you to flow, to speak from your heart, and to express truth without fear. It encourages gentle courage and open dialogue, helping you communicate not just with clarity, but with compassion. This stone is particularly powerful for those moments when you feel misunderstood, emotionally blocked, or lost in the language of your own head. It softens sharp thoughts and transforms them into clear, heartfelt expression, whether in relationships, creative work, or moments of vulnerability. Fluorite helps you focus and organize the brilliant chaos in your mind. Fluorite is often called the genius stone, and for good reason. It organizes mental clutter, enhances focus, and brings order to creative chaos. For a February 1st soul like yours, whose mind is often juggling a dozen ideas at once, fluorite acts like a cosmic filing system. It helps you distinguish what's worth pursuing from what's just background noise. When you're overwhelmed or paralyzed by possibility, fluorite helps you find structure without limiting your innovation. It's a stone that supports strategic thinking, clarity, and decision-making, while still honoring the wild flow of your visionary thoughts. Keep it close during brainstorms, writing sessions, or any time you need to harness your brilliance into something tangible. Wearing or meditating with these stones can help you tap into your highest potential, especially when you feel overwhelmed by your own ideas. You're a lightning rod for inspiration, but without energetic support, that lightning can burn out instead of lighting the way. These stones don't just enhance your talents, they balance them. Amethyst quiets the noise, hematite grounds your energy, aquamarine helps you connect emotionally, and fluorite brings focus to your mental universe. Together, they form your personal energetic toolkit, a cosmic Swiss Army knife for self-mastery. Whether you wear them as jewelry, keep them on your desk, or hold them during meditation, these crystals will help you navigate your own mind, ground your purpose, and manifest the future only you can see. Final cosmic notes. Being born on February 1st is more than a birth date, it's a blueprint for brilliance. You were born under stars that favor revolution, evolution, and reinvention. You aren't here to follow the manual, you're here to rewrite it. The universe stamped your soul with originality and handed you the keys to innovation, challenge, and progress. But that gift comes with a wild road. You'll often feel misunderstood, out of place, or light years ahead of your time. That's not a flaw. That's your superpower. You're not here to fit in. You're here to wake people up. You're not here to play small. You're here to disrupt, elevate, and inspire. The world needs minds like yours, minds that don't settle, that question everything, that imagine better systems, more compassionate communities, and technologies with heart. You were built to challenge assumptions and elevate conversations. You might not always feel appreciated for your rebellious streak or unconventional ideas, but that's because you're shaping what comes next, not what already exists. Your voice matters. Your vision is rare. The more you embrace your cosmic weirdness, the more powerful your impact becomes. So if you've ever felt out of place, too different, or like the world doesn't quite speak your language, maybe it's because you're here to teach it a new one. You might struggle to find your people early on. You might question your worth when others don't understand your direction. But in time, you'll realize you weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to lead with light. You were born to be a translator for the future, helping the world understand what it hasn't yet seen. Don't silence yourself to make others comfortable. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. One day, it will become the frequency that others tune into. And if you're not a February 1st baby but know someone who is, cherish them. They might be unpredictable, but they'll change your life in the most unexpected ways. These souls are rare. They'll challenge you, inspire you, frustrate you, and then teach you how to live more freely than you ever thought possible. Their minds are like galaxies, and their hearts are wired to serve something bigger than themselves. Love them for their contradictions, trust their vision, and hold on for the ride. Want to explore more birthdate-based horoscopes or see how AI can reveal personalized insights? Drop a comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check the links in the description for more cosmic content. Until next time, keep looking up, because the stars have a lot more to say.